You know, one thing that you need when you stream fish, especially if the water's clear, is patience and perseverance. We've seen so many fishermen come and go this morning, and the fishing has been tough, but I think a lot of guys love the challenge, and gals, of steelhead fishing and getting migratory rainbows and brown trout when you got to really work at it to get those fish to hit. This guy might be a rainbow because he's got a ton of energy, and I'm trying to hold him up in this upper pool because there's more fishermen down below. Problem is, as soon as you put a little bit of backbone in the rod, the fish takes off. Now earlier I was using a 9.5 foot rod. Now I'm using one that's longer, so I've got a little bit more stick to fight the fish with. You'll see a lot of the guys that are fishing for steelhead will be using long, very flexible rods, and that's because they're using light line and they want to use the rod to actually give them power. So you can see my float. This fish isn't large, but it's probably pretty fresh. He's going all over the place. Hope he turns around. So I'm trying to be very gentle. But if I have to, I'm going to go down there. So I think I'm going to. Wow, silverfish. Excuse me, gentlemen. It's a pretty silver fish, so I think it's got lots of spunk in it. I wanted to see what it looked like down here anyway. Now this is almost the tail out of the pool here, so I'm hoping that this fish is going to run back up so that the other fishermen can start fishing again. See if I can turn them a little bit. Most of the fish that I've been catching using these jigs have been brown trout, but you'll get both browns and rainbow trout to hit the jigs. Just the key is to really work them and be persistent and shake those jigs. Now I'm using a light action spinning reel with 6-pound test, and you can see that the line is a green color. That's very important because the water is very clear here. Believe it or not, this fish is actually tiring me out. Half of it is holding the long rod. Even though these rods are long, they're pretty lightweight. As you can hear the drag, it's set just right. Man, I can't believe how far down this fish is going here. It's a beautiful fish. Tons of energy. I'm guessing that this fish is about 6-7 pounds. And you can't, if you try to really push them with a light tippet, like most guys are using here, you can very easily break the line because they do have a lot of small, sharp teeth. So I'm trying to be gentle, not making any rough movements. You can see even when I lift the rod up, I'm always maintaining that bend. And when I reel down, no slack line. So I actually pick up the line when I put the rod down, and then I gently lift the rod back to try to bring the fish closer. And amazing. Lots of fight. Now isn't this a beautiful scene? You know, it's mid-November and I'm looking down the river here, and because we've had such mild weather, you can see that a lot of the trees still have leaves on them. Normally this time of the year, those leaves are all off. So I'm surprised. It actually looks like October instead of November. Pretty rainbow. I don't know if I can grab this guy by the tail or not. Oh, wow. Okay. Let me just try that. He might shoot out of my hands here. I'll get that jig out. Small hooks sometimes can be very hard to get out of the fish, but I'm going to slowly work it here. Oh, what a nice male. Come on. Let go of that hook. I want to lift this fish up and show you how beautiful it is. Oh boy, he might shoot out of my hands. Isn't that a gorgeous steelhead? Nice fresh fish. Now, a lot of people ask me, how do you sex fish? Well, in the case of steelhead, males usually have a pointed head. You can see he's got a little bit of a kype. That's the hook on the lower jaw. And they usually have a flatter body. But isn't that just a beautiful, brilliant fish? You can see he's just got a little bit of pink on the cheek. And it's a little bit overcast now, where it would be brilliant. Okay, I'm just going to get him back down. Oh, what a nice steelhead. You're going to see him swim here, just along this little bar. Watch how he just disappears. There he goes. Now, if you were fishing for bigger fish, and for example, in this pond, there's some pretty big trout, and also maybe some bass. If you're going to use worms for bait, a good idea is to use a larger worm and not to break it up into pieces. Now, because we've got a warm day today, we're keeping the worms in this little container. And I don't know if you can see here, it says 35 degrees Fahrenheit or 2 degrees Celsius. So worms can't stand a lot of heat, so that's why they make these styrofoam containers. So what I would do to hook it properly with the larger hook, there's a place on the worm that's called the collar, and I'm just getting some of the soil off it. See this spot right here? It's got like a different color. That's called the collar of the worm. So just above the collar, I'm going to put the hook in, and it's going to go past the collar, and I'm going to thread the worm on, and then I'm going to let the bottom of the worm hang. See how it's nice and lively? And the head of it up here above the collar is where the eye of the hook is. This looks very attractive to a fish in the water. So whether you're fishing on the bottom or using a float to suspend your bait, a large fish would come by and he'd probably inhale the whole thing. So he wouldn't be like a little fish that's nibbling on the worm here.
Yeah.
And that way you would catch a big fish.
Ah.